Have a quick look at this. Now, this is one of those Android models, and it comes from Android 6, Android Marshmallow. And at the first look, you might not think that this is actually all that impressive. However, when you have a look at what it came from, which is this solid piece of material, it then becomes a little bit more interesting. And even more so when you realize that this was made all through the use of AI. And thanks to InfiMaker, who sponsored this video, they invited me to their HQ in Shenzhen to watch this machine turn this one solid block into one of these Android bots. This is the InfiMaker K1. It's a desktop 5-axis CNC machine, and it's designed to turn digital ideas into real metal products. The interesting claim though is that it isn't just a machine that can machine aluminium, steel and even titanium, it's that it is designed for people with an idea without first needing to become a machinist. So I'm going to see how it is built, meet some of the engineers behind it and find out whether it really lives up to the claims that InfiMaker say. Before coming here, I had an idea of what CNC machining was, but I definitely didn't appreciate how many products around us began on a machine like this. Photo frames, camera parts, drone components, robot joints and automotive parts. They're all made on these sorts of machines. Traditionally, those sorts of machines that are capable of making those parts are expensive. They take up huge amounts of space and are built for experienced machinists. The idea behind the K1 is not simply just making a smaller CNC machine, it's trying to make the process of turning an idea into a physical product much more approachable. One thing that I noticed pretty quickly was that this doesn't really look like an industrial piece of equipment. So I asked the CEO, Bowen, exactly why they designed the K1, how they did.
Traditional CNC machines feel very intimidating, exposed, industrial, and built for trained operators. So this is actually my own memory. About 10 years ago, in robotics competition, I spent too much time in machine shops learning how to use a tool instead of focusing on the idea. So that's why when designing K1, we kept thinking of a beautiful espresso machine. It should feel natural at home or in the studio. You should want to use it every day, not wait until you feel qualified to touch it. So the design is not only just about looking premium, it's a signal. It tells people it's not only for mechanics, it's only for people with ideas.
So I completely get why they designed the K1, how they did, but this has something else that I'd not heard of before, and that is 5-axis. And it's worth explaining what this means. Most CNC machines move in 3 directions. A 5-axis machine adds 2 more by allowing both the cutting tool and the workpiece to rotate simultaneously. That means the machine can approach a part from multiple angles without repeatedly stopping to reposition it. And because I'm pretty new to CNC machines, I asked Bowen again how he would explain a 5-axis machine to someone who'd never touched a CNC machine, and then what is possible with all those 5-axis working together.
Maybe I'll give you an analogy. So 3-axis just like your wrist in a cast. So basically, it can only curve straight down, or you can't move your wrist around. So 5-axis with the 2 additional rotation axes will give you, it feels like your wrist is free again. Your wrist can move around. So technically, the 2 heads can approach the material from almost any angle, but 5-axis CNC machines will give you all the freedom. It opens up a new world for you to do all kinds of complex geometries.
I kind of get it, but I also wanted to see if Bowen had any examples of what these machines could make that are not possible with a 3-axis machine.
Yeah, definitely. So this one is a propeller fan. So with this kind of geometries, only 5-axis CNC machines can handle this. And another example is a pineapple like this, because when you curve down, you can never reach this kind of spots with a 3-axis CNC machines. You can only do with the 5. So it will give you all kinds of freedom.
Having those 2 extra axes, they might not sound like a massive deal, but it kind of is. As Bowen said, it gives you the ability to create models that are just not possible with your regular 3 axes. And I saw a lot of models that were made with the K1 at the office, and I have to tell you, the amount of intricate details that you can achieve is very impressive. And I just kept thinking that the K1 could not have been easy to make, and when I was talking with the engineers about how this was taken from an idea to a final product, I was interested to know what challenges creating a desktop 5-axis CNC machine gave the team.
The hardest thing is to find a balance between price, size, rigidity, and weight. So we made a lot of experiment and simulations, or also like real-world cutting test to find the best spec for our machine. I think that the biggest challenge is finding the balance between those parameters.
There was something I was curious about though, and that was the weight. The K1, it weighs 110 kilograms, and to me, that seems heavy, so I was curious why it weighs as much as it does, and if this could get any lighter in the future.
Now the weight for us, like 110 kilogram, it's pretty much reached the limit of this size, because during the working time, the precision will be reducing all the time.
So the more I spoke to the engineers, it just became obvious that every design decision here was about delivering industrial capability in something compact enough to sit in a studio or makerspace. The K1 also delivers on software, because usually this is where a lot of people can be put off. With a normal CNC machine, the CAD software is complicated. You can spend hours generating machine parts and learning specialist tools just to get started. InfiMaker claims that its software, InfiStudio, skips the traditional CAD and CAM setup. All you need is a simple 2D image, and the AI can help generate the toolpath that goes straight to the machine. And the CEO, Bowen, didn't just want to show me how this worked, he wanted me to give it a go.
We want you to give you the space and stage to try it by yourself. How to make this one into a real Android bot that you can carry home. This is a picture, and this is our InfiStudio, our built-in software. And we have a very interesting feature called AI Maker, where you can upload your image or describe whatever you want to create in words. Okay. Either way work. So with this one, you can actually try it yourself. So we just put the picture on a desktop.
Yeah, can I just drag it in? Is that the way to work it?
Yeah, that should work.
Okay.
Yeah. Click generate now. Yeah, it will take 1 or 2 minutes, or maybe less, and to generate a 3D model. And with a 3D model, yeah, it's already done.
Oh, that's quick.
Yeah, you can play around with to see the details. If you're okay with that, you just click save.
Yeah, I'm surprised that it's very accurate to the photo as well. Like it looks like you're giving it something that was 3D.
Yeah. It can sort of give you the details even behind the back of the box. So the second step would be choosing the right materials and the dimension of the block.
Okay, so we're going to pick the white modeling board anyway, aren't we?
So this one.
And then for our size, you're going to have to help me out with sizes.
So this one is roughly 50 by 75. Okay. So it doesn't have to be 100% accurate, because we have a built-in propping system to figure out the actual dimension.
And that is incredibly simple. Like I've never used one of these machines.
The entire user experience is very similar to 3D printers. Yeah. You just import the model and do some minor modification, and then click generate, and that's it. Previously, in other conventional CAM software, you have to configure the different strategies. You have to figure out, a lot of different small techniques you have to play around with. But this one, the only thing you need to do is to import something you really want to make.
That entire process only took me a few minutes, and it is so simple. The InfiStudio AI software also shows you the toolpaths that have been created and exactly how long it will take to create that model. But before the machine got to work, Bowen wanted to explain something that the K1 has that is very special.
So we have a ATC, something called ATC, which is I think one of the most important feature. So ATC represents automatic tool change. So it looks like a little bit drawer, and we have 6 different slots for 5 different tools, and the big one is our propping system. And also, we are the first brand or the first product that has the automatic change for propping system as well.
And with that K1 having an automatic tool changer, it means that I can leave and just forget about this machine while it makes me my Android bot, so we will come back to it. But you can see, this is a great example of those 5 axes working all together, but I am still curious about how precise it can be and its accuracy.
One way to test whether the CNC machine is actually accurate is to make 2 pieces that have to stick together, because if the accuracy is off at all, then they won't fit. So let's go and have a look at the 2 pieces that I asked them to make before I got here.
These 2 metal pieces were machined before I arrived, and I was curious to how they would fit, but you can see that they are so accurate and they fit together perfectly. InfiMaker claimed that the K1 has 0.01mm precision, and I mean, this is difficult to argue with.
As you saw with the puzzle pieces, the K1 delivers a level of precision you'd normally associate with much larger machines. But to be honest, our goal was never to build a machine to cut parts for SpaceX rocket. Our true mission is accessibility. We want to take the industrial level 5-axis capability and wrap it into a prosumer experience and hand it to a designer and creators who have zero CNC background.
I found that answer interesting because the K1 is designed to look different to traditional CNC machines. It's much cheaper than those bigger machines, and you don't need any CNC background. So I was curious, is this a serious tool, or is it just a hobbyist machine?
When most people hear a serious tool and assume it must be complicated, and we define serious differently. A serious tool needs to do two things: output capability and workflow simplicity. When it comes to our output capability, we have a 1500-watt spindle that can cut real metal like aluminum and brass. It is not limited to foam, plastic, or motherboard. As for workflow simplicity, we have 6-tool ATC and InfiStudio, the software which can generate toolpath by itself. With many entry-level CNCs, you wait, you press a button, and change a tool and wait again. K1 is designed so the workflow feels much more complete. So for users, the real question is success rate. You press start and the machine finishes the job. So this is what serious means in practice.
After spending just a few hours with the K1, you realise it's a very impressive machine. It's easy to use. The learning curve that you would have needed with a traditional CNC machine has pretty much been eliminated, and this is something that I just want to use every single day. And within just a couple of hours of me playing with this machine, I was able to create my own Android bot with just a few clicks.
So this is where we started, just a plain block of wood. And then this is where we finished, this little Android 6 marshmallow figurine. And I actually think this is quite impressive, but I was actually more impressed about everything that went into this before the machine even started to cut it. Whether you're an engineer, a product designer, or simply someone with an idea for a physical product, it's actually fascinating to see how much industrial capability has been condensed into something the size of the K1. If you want to know anything else about the K1 or when the Kickstarter campaign goes live, you can check the description below and you'll find all the links there. And you can even then maybe even make your own Android 6 marshmallow figurine.